already a minute late. That's terrible of me. Hello, everyone. How are we doing? Give me one moment. I was just downstairs making myself a cup of tea. Hello, Nicholas. Oh. I'm just going to give folks a little bit of time to pop in. Hello, Zhao. Don't spoil anything, Zhao. I'm going to be watching the first episode of that tomorrow and probably trying to put out a video about it. If I can. Tomorrow. So no spoilers in chat, please, Zhao. Hello, Rob. Hello, Joshua. So, I wanted to show you folks what I have managed to do. So it took me a stupidly long length of time to get this dock region done. Hello, Drave Dude. Welcome to stream. I've seen you around before. Welcome. So yeah, this is... I wanted to try to have the docks here, but it was just not working. So I decided to go with a slightly more boring straight section, buried sort of like the edge of one of the large piers into the ground a bit, and just built a little fishing sort of area around it. The idea in going for here is that this one is like on its way out. That's why it's, you know, not against the docks. It's going to be on its way out. To go and get some more fish. But yeah, that's all ready and sorted. Yeah, Zhao, I'd rather go in with like no information at all, just so that when I do my video on it, I can be like completely fresh. But today I want to spend some time on here. I basically want to finish the entirety of this sort of farm area. You might remember that last stream we literally made this enclosure and we prepared this enclosure. Off stream, I went around and did some more sort of constructing. As you can see, we have our lovely little center point up here. I've prepared two carnivorous animal enclosures. And then there's three more herbivore enclosures ready to go up here. And the aim is to basically get these all decorated, built up today, if we can. I'm not 100% sure we'll get them all done today, but we'll see how it goes. What I'm probably going to do is prepare this enclosure. We got this one prepared, but I'm going to prepare this one now. And then we can pop back to menu, pick our dinosaur species, and come back. So I'm going to get started on that. How has everyone's day been today? What have we all been up to? Anyone got up to anything fun? I'm going to keep this one relatively sandy. Quite like the idea of this one being sort of... a bit more desert themed. Well, I think we all assumed that Jurassic World Evolution 3 was going to be coming this year. I mean, we were all assuming it's going to be launching in November, so I don't think... It's why I didn't really do anything on it, because to me that's like... That was kind of what we all thought was going to happen anyway, so it's not really news as far as I'm concerned. I suppose it's more of a confirmation now that it's coming this year, but I don't think it was a surprise that it was coming this year. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I think I'm gonna put like I feel like trying to create a sort of like a set of stones that whatever animal we put in here can kind of like climb up on. So let's put that there, but let's make that a little bit lower because it's a tad high. We don't want to provide our dinosaurs with easy ways of jumping down it. And maybe we could use... do we just have like a flat piece of... Maybe? We grab one of those. Oh, of course, it's not going to be straight much, is it? That's kind of okay. Maybe have like a... Okay. I need to find the right angle for this. Actually, somewhere up here, where have we got some like flat ground? I need to find the right angling for a map. This is like a new tip of mine that, especially if you're using Kyodenic, it's really helpful to find like the right sort of angle that you can have something and know what happens when you use the angle system. So I'm going to leave that piece of concrete there because now I know that I can just pick up any of these at the same angle and any of the angling will be perfect, you see. I mean, I suppose they've got like a walk-up bit there, but I do want to put one on this side too. Oh, shoot. Okay. You got a haircut, Sarcastic. I'm very boring with my haircuts. I tend to use the exact same ones every time. I just shave my hair down to like grade 4. But that's only because if I leave it for any length of time, I get like a full-on afro, and it's not good. it's not good. I can't pull off an afro, you know. Maybe a little bit just up. Something like that. I think it kind of gets the point across. Oh, hello, Branson. How would Amblin and Universal respond to the backlash about the Mutadons being hybrids in disguise? I don't think they care. Hello, Kairu. And yeah, I don't... I don't think Universal particularly care. I know I've said this before about Jurassic. In fact, I've said it many times now. But I think Universal are courting a different audience with Jurassic now. So I don't think they really give a damn about ticking off the old audience. I think they are courting a different audience, and that's the one they care about the response of. And if the indications are anything to go by, the new audience absolutely love the Mutadons and stuff, so... I'm sure Universal are thinking that they're on with a winner, you know. I hope dinosaurs can climb on rocks in the next game, but I doubt it'll happen. Yeah, Drave, dude, I'm kind of the same. People have some very high expectations for Jurassic World Evolution 3, and I don't think there's anything wrong with having high expectations. But I don't necessarily think there's any proof that that Frontier can meet those expectations. It's like, it's good to have high expectations, but the chances of those expectations being met by Frontier are not as good as they used to be. Oh, that needs to be probably about there. Yeah, and I need to find something to just cover that with. What about... doesn't really work, does it? I will have to do that manually, I think. Or here's an alternative. And something I haven't seen anyone actually do. I haven't seen Evo try something like this. Let's create a... well, what is, I believe, called a stand 2 shelter. Might be a bit high on the angling there. Maybe if we reduce it slightly... yeah, that's okay. And... no, it's not. That's better. And where can we put it that makes sense? I mean, I suppose here it does actually make sense. There we go. That's not sticking out. And you basically... I think this is a good technique to use with this particular piece of scenery, because then you don't have to like struggle to hide that annoying like rear section. You can just bury it down into the ground, and then we can just place some light foliage. Let's get some of these and just bury them down a bit. Maybe not that low. There we go. Ah. That's always the problem. It's gonna bug me. What can we put back there that's just gonna... we need something like that that's... maybe... ah, maybe... actually... oh, more people are popping in. Sorry, I'm going to try and keep a... oh, wow, Madagascar is 20 years old. Is that Is that true? Oh my lord, that's just made me feel mega old. Christ. That's not in the right place either. Great, now I feel mega old. 20 years old. Wow. And yeah, Matthias, we'll figure that out when we get there. There's tolerances here. There's tolerances here. I really like using these olive trees. I think if you're making like a desert park, these olive trees I think work really well. Because they're not like so green and bushy that they kind of destroy the desert ambience that you're going for. But they're not like equally basically dead trees either. They're sort of they're a happy middle ground between them. I think I might want to put a few of these guys just around here. Maybe... one. Yeah, I think that's looking nice. Thank you, Drave Dude. What stuff do you like from the Rebirth trailers so far? Jow, that's a fair question. I mean, I was going to be tackling this in a video I was thinking about doing for next week, but I forgot Walking with Dinosaurs was coming out. Like, I had video schedules planned, and then I forgot Walking with Dinosaurs was going to have to, like, fit in that schedule. So I've realized that, like, I'm going to have to do a ton of video editing in the next few days. So, I mean, I suppose this is as good a point as any just to warn you guys that while there is going to probably be videos, they might not be, like, massively complicated, high-quality, like, super vids. The chances are there'll probably be similar ones to what I was doing the other day with my ranty vid, where it's just, like, literally my Steam stream lounge, where it's just me kind of talking with some, like, still images or that sort of thing. Just because, like... I've done so much editing lately, and it can get quite tiring. And I'm not a particularly fast editor either. It can take me quite a long time to edit a video, so you know, if I want to get stuff out, I kind of have to be a little brutal with it and not be so hyper about certain things. So they might not be like super massively hyper edited like usual, but they will be videos, you know. I think this pond is a little static. It needs something. So walking with dinosaurs, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, because it looks like the BBC has released 3 episodes on BBC iPlayer. Like, they're not coming out one a week. I need to have a look at how they're doing it, because if they're releasing them one a week, then I'll just do a video each week. But if they've released them all in one go, what I will probably do is I'll watch one video and do like a review of that one episode as a video, and then I'll probably just watch them all and do an overall review video at the end. Because obviously there's no point doing one for each, like a review video for each episode, if they've just all been released in one go and they're not coming out weekly, you know. Which incidentally I think is the better way of doing a documentary series like that. I'm not happy with how untidy that is. That's better. I think this little pond is calling out desperately for some lilies. Okay, I have to remember how to do this. Advanced move. Nope. Nope. 1, 2. Select that patch. Select that patch of lilies. 3. Then I have to go back into freeform. There we go. And then I need to put them at the right height. Ah, lovely. That looks really good, actually. I like that. I think maybe we need a sort of similar arrangement on that side. But let's like make it with some slightly smaller ones. So let's do like 1, 2, 3. Honestly, I can't believe that I didn't think about doing this like before. Like, seeing Evo do it was just like, it was one of those moments where, I don't know if anyone's ever had this, but like, you spend an inordinate amount of time trying to do something that feels really complicated and tricky, and then someone will just come along and do it in a way you just didn't think about in like 5 minutes flat, and then you feel really stupid that you didn't think about doing it that way before. That's how I felt when I saw Evo do it this way. I was like, oh, yeah. That makes so much sense. There we go. Nice. I like how this looks. Right, this is going to be for our carnivore. So obviously we need some carnivore foods. I also totally forgot that do these not snap to fence? Do they snap to fence? Do they not? Hang on. Let me just do a quick test of something. I totally forgot that Kyotenic made those wonderful troughs for feeding. I was like, I installed them ages ago and I've never used them. And I'm like, oh, there you go. It's I had to press Control 1. There we go. So we can attach these to some of the enclosures instead of relying on those awful pedo plants. I completely forgot about them. But anyway, yeah, Jowl, sorry. You asked me what if there was anything good that I liked about the Rebirth trailers. Yeah, there is stuff I like about the Rebirth trailers. I like the Spinosaurus redesign. I think it's a happy medium between the style of Jurassic and the sort of more realistic depictions of Spinosaurus that we've come to know and love. I think that they should have tried to make it more like the JP3 Spino. I think that like if they had given it the same colors as the JP3 Spino, that would have been a nice touch. But in general, I'm happy with the Spino design. I think the Spino design is really nice. The Titanosaurus design... the Titanosaurus design is a tricky one. I liked what I saw of the Titanosaurus design to begin with, but then they went and messed around with it, and now I don't like it as much as I did the first trailer, but it's still an okay design. But I suppose I'm most looking forward to seeing that in Jurassic World Evolution 3, because then we might actually have a sauropod that is interesting to, skin and stuff. What I'm actually going to do is put one of those feeders on this wall. Food trough. Put it like along this wall here. I'm gonna put like 2 of them. Actually, let's put 3 of them. Nice. Watch the skins of the Titanosaurus be lackluster. The T-Rex design, again, it's nice to see the T-Rex actually have colors for once. I've gotten so bored of seeing bland T-Rex designs. So that, on the one hand, that's good. I'm not a particular fan of... I'm actually not a massive fan of the river raft sequence. And I'll tell you guys why. Because it might come across as a bit of a weird one. But I kind of feel like if you're gonna have a deep river for a swimming Rex, why not just use the Spinosaurus there? I would rather the Spinosaurus be used again, because this is something I'm a little concerned about with the Rebirth trailers and everything we've seen so far, is that I'm a bit concerned that every dinosaur is just going to be in the movie once, which is what they did in Dominion, and it's what they are showing in the trailer. And I feel like I would rather This is how I think. I would rather have the Spinosaurus in the movie multiple times, so have it at the river raft sequence, have it with the mosasaur sequence, have it later on, than have three different animals, one per sequence. The T-Rex has to be in the film, I accept, but wouldn't the Spinosaurus be the better option to have swimming in the river? Like, I know it's a bit of a nitpicky thing to be like to talk about, but like when you think about it, wouldn't the Spinosaurus make more sense? Hello, Niall. Ah, okay. I didn't know if Evo went overtime or not. I do agree with you, Kairu. Seeing it swimming like that does defy the audience expectations of what T-Rex is. So on the one hand, that's good. I completely agree with you there. But on the other hand, I also can't help but think, like, if we're only going to get the Spinosaurus once, wouldn't it have been cooler to have it, like, show up again here in the river? I mean, one thing I would say, a lot of people are going like, I've seen this comment quite a lot in my comment section that like people will be critical of something about the film so far, and then they'll say, "Oh yeah, but the river raft scene is so cool. I'm like that's gonna save the film for me." I am not really in line with that. Like to me, one one good river raft scene, a good movie does not make, and I don't think the river raft scene is gonna save the film for me. I also I also can't help but feel it's a little shitty to say that sort of thing, considering the river raft scene isn't new. It's a scene that someone who is a better writer, Michael Crichton, wrote in a better product, Jurassic Park, that someone else has now stolen to put in their film. And I don't give points for that. Hello, Walking with Alex. Hello, Luna. I agree that it seems like the Rex is being presented as a threat again, which is definitely nice. I agree with you that it was feeling like the Rex was being persistently sort of depowered, as it were, lately in the franchise, and it's nice that the Rex is coming back and seeming to be more dangerous. Of course, it awaits to be seen what that actually sort of equates to in the movie. You've got to make Smash. Okay, low key, like really, I know this is really off topic, but low key, really weird food combination: barbecue flavored Pringles and mashed potato as a dip. Oh, it's so good. I know it's a really weird combination, but it is so good. Like not cold mash; it's got to be like slightly warm, like fresh mash. What can we have as like a nice little environmental feature in the middle of this pond? Depending on what animal we put in here, of course. You know what? We could just go with one of my new decoration items. How about no, actually, none of those really suits. Maybe we can just put a tree there, to be honest. Maybe just one tree does the job. Yeah. I don't dislike that. I think that's alright. The mutadons remind me of the prehistoric dragons from Dragon's World Fantasy Made Real. I did see a documentary where they kind of tried to do like a walking with dinosaurs thing to be like, what if dragons were real? Like, how would they have evolved and stuff? That was quite interesting. I feel like my video on the mutadons, it did lose me subscribers, by the way. It's lost me 6 subscribers, that video. But I don't care. You know, I'm not in the YouTube business to make money or to run this as like a job. You know, that was not my purpose of having a YouTube. I'm doing this as kind of a hobby. Would I like it to be like really successful? Of course, but it's also like not a hardcore aim of mine. So people who don't like what I have to say, they're free to unsubscribe if they wish. I don't care. I'm not going to change any of the opinions I have just because people unsubscribe from me. Like, if you don't agree with me, I would rather you kind of like talk to me about why you disagree with me, so we could have like a chat and like share different opinions. But you know, some people are just like, oh my god, you hate the mutadons. Unsub. Fine. Whatevs. Yeah, exactly, Kairu. Like, if they don't agree, they can unsub if they want, you know? I don't care. or rather, it's not that I don't care. Obviously, I never say what I do to deliberately upset anybody. It's why I made it very clear with that video that I did that I'm like, you know, I'm not trying to stir fuss or upset anyone. You can like what you like. You know, that's not the point of the video. It's one of the things that kind of I think is getting worse and worse about not just YouTube, but like sort of everyday stuff in general. is that it feels like people are becoming more tribal. And I don't mean tribal as in they're going around beating drums and shit. I mean tribal as in they're getting a lot more... I'm almost tempted to say defensive over their opinions. It's like everyone seems to be sort of split into communities and categories now. And if you don't agree with what is being said, you're the bad guy. I mean, I have this in the gay community, oddly enough. Because I genuinely don't support gay pride, and that doesn't mean I don't support the idea of like being proud of your sexuality and stuff. What I don't support the marching and stuff like that, because to me it doesn't serve a political purpose anymore. It's just used as an excuse to get overly drunk and wear fetish gear in public, and I don't think that's acceptable. So I'm generally not a fan of gay pride, but obviously within the gay community, you're like, if you don't support gay pride, you're treated like a social pariah in the gay community, which is something I've never been very particularly fond of. Which is why I don't go to gay pride parades. I mean, I've always thought that gay pride parades were kind of antithetical to the whole, like how can I explain it? Like, the whole point of, like, gay pride and that was so gay people were considered just part of, you know, just normal people, part of the community. That they had the same rights and everything else as everybody else, yeah? And then along comes gay pride parades, which do everything they can to make gay people different. And I'm like, isn't this the opposite of what you guys were, like, pushing for? I also think that, like, gay pride stuff, it tends to like push particular stereotypes of what gay people are, which is another reason why I don't go to them, because I honestly can't stand quite a lot of the typical gay people that go to those sorts of events. Like, I pride myself in being a quote-unquote normal gay person. I'm just a guy who likes other guys. And I don't... There's nothing else about me that's like... You know... It's a sort of... If you encounter me in the wild, as it were, I just act like a normal person. And you would have no idea of my sexuality. That's how I think it should be. I don't wear it on my sleeves as like some sort of military-esque sort of thing. And obviously I know everyone is going to be different, and that much I know. But it's when you are atypical to that where I think it causes problems. Like I say, I have had many a falling out with people in the gay community because I don't support gay pride. And they don't really understand my view on it, you know. Anyway, that was a very random tangent. Sorry. I should note, you know, I'm obviously not... I'm not anti-gay. I am gay. I have been accused of that before, like, oh, you don't like gay pride, you're one of those self-hating gays. I'm like, no. I'm perfectly happy with that. Berenton, don't spoil anything, please. I intend to watch it myself probably tomorrow and do like a live. Well, I'm tempted to do like one of those sort of like live reaction videos where like you have me in the bottom corner watching and I talk while the episode's on. Would people be interested? How would people like me to do the Walking with Dinosaurs video? Would they prefer my sort of typical review style, or would they prefer like one of these like live reviews that other people do? Because I'm okay with either way. I'm not against gay or lesbians, but I just find it very annoying on the Force stuff in media and the flag being used everywhere. So, Zhao, I don't 100% agree with... Well, okay, I don't 100% disagree with you either. I think sometimes it does feel particularly forced. Sometimes it's very clear when a company is just doing it for the points and they don't actually have a greater like point beyond that. Stuff like the way that they made Kayla Watts, they bigged up Kayla Watts being a lesbian in Dominion, and literally that was only because she talked to a woman. I'm like, oh, I see. So any woman who just talks to another woman is automatically a lesbian or bi. That was such a stupid perspective. So yeah, I 100% agree with you that sometimes I think the representations are bad. And that's my preferred way of saying it. It's not that the representations are forced, it's that the representations are bad. And I would rather the representations be good and actually be like well-written, strong characters with more character than just I'm gay and that's the only reason I'm here. That's how I think it should be done. Unfortunately, I think too often it's just the, oh, we have a gay person in our media, therefore you must love our product, you know. Oh yeah, don't worry, Joe. I didn't think you were saying that. Don't worry. It's one of those topics as well, isn't it? It's always difficult to talk about because sometimes people will take things a completely opposite direction to what you actually mean because it's a very charged topic. And unfortunately, I think it's become more charged because of the sort of hate speech and stuff that's come out. Even worse after Trump, you know. Things have become worse, and I understand why some people might react in a quite defensive way. But I think we all need to... I think if there's one thing I think humankind needs to get better at doing, it's we need to get better generally as people at discussion, at like talking. You know, people can have differing views and that be okay. And if we respect each other's differing views, that's fine. At the same time, though, I do think with some particular groups of people, that's gone too far. The whole, you know, we have free speech, so we're allowed to say what you like, fine, but I don't think that means you're allowed to be complete assholes to people and use free speech as a defense, you know. I also think it's about time that we, as a people, as humans, that we stopped coddling to people who have clearly ridiculous views, like the Earth is flat or vaccinations cause autism. we need to stop giving a platform to those individuals and call out their stupidity for what it is. Because otherwise, we as a species are completely doomed to stagnate and run backwards from all of the evolution that we've done because of idiotic people. Like, we need to be more willing as people to stand up and go, no, these people are just stupid, and call out their stupidity, and not give them a platform. I am completely in favor of deplatform any anti-vaxxer, frankly. As someone who does have asthma, and as someone whose mother has ran tangent. So my mother, many a year ago now, caught really bad pneumonia to the point where she almost died. So during COVID, obviously, she was at risk. And people who stood there, like, refusing to get the vaccine and refusing to follow basic instructions just really aggravated me. Because, like, there were people like my mum who were genuinely at risk of death, and all they bitched about was having to wear a mask or stand a little further back in a shop. It just really infuriated me. Sorry, that was a very random tangent. I apologize. I'm kind of in a bit of a ranty mood today, it seems. I'm like I say, Luna, I'm in a bit of a ranty mood, it seems. Dylan the Dino fan, I have a question. I keep trying to use Kai's toolbox, but it doesn't work. I can access the menu, but it feels like I can't do anything. What do I do? Okay, well, it depends what menu you're talking about, Dylan the Dino fan, because if you're using Kai's toolbox, there should be many menus. You should have the dinosaur spawn tool, which is pressing L. You should have the environment tool option, which is K. You should have the dinosaur behavior, which is on J. And then you should have the moving system, which is on N. I think there's a couple of others as well. Oh, we're back on the mutants. I've encountered some very interesting comments as a result of that video. The dinosaurs were always... Well, okay, so this made me laugh, okay. So the argument used to be the dinosaurs were always hybrids, and therefore the hybrids are fine. But now that's transformed into the dinosaurs were always mutants, and therefore that's fine. Same sort of argument, but being sort of argued in a slightly different way. And it made me laugh when it was, oh, they've always been mutants. Have they? Have they really always been mutants? Or are you just saying that? I'm trying to use the freeform and advanced rotation, but it doesn't seem to move anywhere. Okay, Dylan. Let me give you a quick explanation on how to use this, because this might help. Because it is a little bit complicated. Let me grab one of these, because this is like a really big object, so it's clear to see what we're doing with it. So you put the object down, you press N, that brings up the options. Now, as standard, you want to be in free form, so always press F. You should be in free form as standard. You click, you should see a blue outline around the object. If you click on it, you select the object and you can now move it about. So, and then at the bottom, so Y allows you to rotate the object, X moves it in one axis, Z moves it in another axis, and B moves it up and down. And you can press C to place it on the ground. If you right click, you exit out and it resets the object. Advanced rotate and advanced move is not really that useful. The only thing I do, let me put down like more than one of these to show you what I do. The only time I use advanced move or rotate is when I want to move multiple objects at once. So I hit G, which brings up advanced move. You can see they outline everything in orange. So if you click on each one while holding shift, you can select them all. Then if I go back to freeform by pressing F, I have control of all of them. So I can move them all up and down, rotate them, etc. I hope that helps. Teenage Mutant Ninja Dinosaurs. Walking with Daleks, I love that. Someone should like make that as a short, like have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle theme with all the mutant scenes from Rebirth. That would really tick off the pro mutant crowd, wouldn't it? I'm so tempted. I'm so tempted to do that. Really, really tempted. They would hate me. They would hate me, but they already hate me. If I have some time next week, I'm totally going to make that a short. I mean, I was going to do a short where, like, I was just going to be a video of all the, like, things the D-Rex reminded me of, like beluga whales, like fish. There are certain types of fish that look like it. There's certain objects that look like it. I'm just going to do a short of, like, all the things the D-Rex reminds me of. And it getting more and more stupid the longer the short goes. But again, I think that would piss people off. Well, I think that one is ready for our next dino. So we've got 2 carnivore enclosures and a herbivore enclosure that we need to pick some animals for. Now remember, these are all supposed to be sort of relatively small. So let's go and pick some animals. I remember all those images. They were scary. And I hope, glad it helps, Dylan. I think that's called rage bait, Fletcher. I know, but annoying all these probably children that love the hybrids just makes me laugh. And after I had one of them turn around to me in my comments and say, "Did you even read the books?" I'm like, bitch, don't you dare. I have read both books. I've probably read both books before you were even born. Like, shut up. Don't tell me to read the books. I read the books. Nowhere in those books is there a bloody mutant. Right, let's find a small herbivore to begin with. So we've already got Corythoraptor. I was thinking of maybe Listro or Microceratus. I don't really use Microceratus, and that enclosure is quite small for it. Maybe Oviraptor. Oviraptor's kind of like a chicken, isn't it? Isn't that... Hang on. How big is Dracorex? No, Dracorex is kind of big, actually. Might have to be Microceratus or Listro. Okay, hang on. Like, if we're imagining this is kind of like a farm area sort of thing, like a farm experience sort of thing, what's Corythoraptor like? What is the Corythoraptor like sort of representing in that scenario? Like turkeys, chickens, maybe something bigger like an ostrich? Like a chicken or a turkey, an ostrich. What other sort of farmy animals do we have? Minmai could be a pig. Well, I would say Lystrosaurus works better as a pig. I think Minmai is a bit large to be a pig. Emu. Okay, Corythoraptor definitely represents emu. So, Lystrosaurus for a pig. And I don't use Lystro very often. Bless him. Mostly because he has really terrible skins, I feel. Incidentally, I've been watching the new series of Clarkson's Farm, so I'm in my sort of farms are cool again sort of phrase. So, Lystrosaurus. Okay, males and females. So let's just get rid of the pattern. Let's just pick a color scheme first. Let's go. Quite like doing like a black and a light grey. Maybe like something like this color actually looks quite similar to the pigs that Clarkson has on his farm, actually. I quite like that color scheme, actually. I don't like the eyebrows, but I think that looks quite good. Is there a pink one? Not really. There's like a red one. I mean, I suppose that's close to pink. But Jeremy's got like these. They're called bronze somethings. They're like a rare. They're like a rare species of British pig, and they're like this. Well, I would say they're ginger, but they're not. They're like almost bronze colored, and they're like bronze colored with like black spots, and they look really cool actually. So I was kind of trying to find something in between that. I mean, I suppose that's kind of bronzy. But it's nothing that's like the black spots. I suppose that's like the black spots, but... I think we'll go with this. I like how subtle it is. So, Death Valley and Pulcrana. And then for females, I think we'll just make the color slightly different. So that kind of works. So that's the male, that's the female. Maybe give the female a slightly different color pattern. Maybe no pattern. We'll just give the females no pattern. So Yukon River. Okay, now we need to find 2 small carnivores. Now these have to be like, I mean small as in small. Not small as in what evolution says small. Too bad there wasn't a larger Dicynodont in the game. Hopefully JW3 gives us serious. I mean, if I was Frontier, I would be putting every animal from Walking with Dinosaurs and Walking with Beasts and Walking with Monsters in the game. Because they're a British company. The Walking with trilogy is like the defining piece of media for pretty much every dinosaur fan. So just put all of those animals in the game. That's your basic standard. If all of those animals were in Jurassic World Evolution 3, 99% of the community is probably going to love you. Would you prefer if the movie took place on the main island instead of another island? I would prefer if the movie took place on the mainland. Because wasn't that the whole point of Fallen Kingdom? At this point, I feel like Fallen Kingdom is like the film that sat in the corner while the other movies just exist around it. And Fallen Kingdom is like kind of ignored all the time. Oh, sorry, mainland. Oh, yes, sorry, Joe. For some reason, I looked over and I saw that as main island instead of mainland. I must have got those two words mixed together slightly. Sorry. Yeah, I would say mainland. Sinosauropteryx as a raccoon. Raccoons aren't really farm animals, though, are they? I mean, it's tough with the carnivores to represent them as a farm animal. Accepted. I suppose being British, we could say Sinosauropteryx as badgers. They would work for badgers. Let's do Sinosauropteryx as badgers. Ah, can we get like a badger-esque color scheme? This is now where I'm going to show my inadequacies. Are badgers primarily grey with black stripes? Or are they primarily black with white stripes? Okay, that looks like it's primarily black with white. Hang on. That looks... That's more badgery from what I can see there. Okay, that's more like an English badger. Badgers are basically almost black or grey all over with white faces and sort of white bodies. So that works for a badger. Oh, badgers are like... If I was to sort of give a metaphor for what badgers are like, they are like the rowdiest, rudest teenagers you could possibly imagine. So, male and female. Males will have as really dark. So, Killian Mountains and Rana. And then the females will have as slightly lighter. We'll make them more grey. So, Svalbard and Rana. Maybe we should do the females as like grey with the black. Yeah, we'll do it with the Polk Rana. And then the second lot, so I've already decided on what animal I want this time. For the slightly larger enclosure, I want to do Proceratosaurus. I very rarely use Procerato, but I think it has some really good skins. I think it gets ignored. I think Proceratosaurus's problem is I think that it's kind of too similar to Monolophosaurus in a way, and I think people end up using Monolopho instead of like Procerato. Again, I don't really see this as like representing a specific animal on the farm for these guys, because these are a bit more carnivorous. These are just like being picked because I like them. I kind of like the grey. The grey Death Valley body is kind of nice. What can we do with colours? Ooh. Ooh. I like the orange, but I really like the blue. What do people think? Blue or orange? Orange matches the belly, but I think the blue looks better on the crest. I think the blue looks better on the body too. Maybe this one looks a little bit sort of more subtle. What do people think? Blue or orange? Let me know. I'm going to quickly have a slurp of tea. I suppose Prostrato is a bit similar to Turadon, although it's nowhere near as big. Branson says the blue Procerato can be ferrets. I think they're a bit big for ferrets. I would say Sinosauropteryx would be a better ferret. I'm just trying to think, is there like an animal that Procerato could represent on a farm? I really don't think that there is. A giant fox. See, I don't agree with Berenson. I think the orange works better. Keep pressing the wrong button. I think the orange looks really cool. So I think we're going to go with the orange. So Death Valley and Paul Krana. And then the females. So we need something... That's exactly the same grey. It just changes the belly colour. So let's give them the different colour belly, and I don't want to give them no body colour though. You know what? Let's make the females the blue ones. So we'll do another case of mutual sexual selection. So the females have blue crests and the males have orange crests. There we go. A goose. They're just as dangerous. They're just as dangerous. Procerata would look so much better if it's introduced with the feathers. It looks cursed without them. See, my problem with that is we only have evidence of feathers being in dinosaurs kind of Cretaceous period onwards. You know, stuff like Ornithomimus, raptors. I think there is a danger in the paleo community of like putting feathers on every single dinosaur regardless of what time period it comes from. I think we need to be careful about doing that. So yeah, Procerato would be going in this enclosure here. And the Sinosauropteryx will be going in. It's a bit big for Sinosauropteryx, isn't it? I don't mind. And the Lystrosaurus pigs will go in here. Let's go get the Lystros first. Where is my dinosaur manufacturing thing? There it is. I like having Procerata in paddocks for T-Rex, as Procerata is one of the oldest tyrannosaurs. I mean, we certainly have enough of the tyrannosaurs in the game now, don't we? So we're going to have a single male because, you know, we don't need many male pigs. And then we're probably going to give him like 4 females. Oh, here we go. Fuck you. Sorry. Excuse my French. Excuse my... That was particularly rude of me, but... Honest to God. Fine. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. Can we select these? Yeah, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Come with me. Oh, no. No. We definitely can't do it like that. Okay. I like... Frontier have this sort of reputation, I feel now, of adding really useful features, but not really adding them in the way that we expect them to be added. I think that one just disappeared into the ground. Yeah. Oh, it's because it's in the middle of a... See, you can't move them when they're in the middle of like a social animation. There we go. There's our little piggies. I think 5 animals in here is decent enough. I think this is a bit small to have lots of them. I just want to make sure that they're definitely going to eat the food. Just keep an eye on the enclosure, on the little things here. Might not though, actually. Might give these guys over here some of the same things. Let's give these ones like... let's give them like 2 here. Let's give them 3 there. I mean, they might eat them. They might just eat the normal stuff. I think these troughs go quite nicely with the whole sort of farming theme that we're going for down here. Alright, let's go get our Sinosauropteryx. This is how transporting the Listro should be. Instead of a massive helicopter, yeah, just pick them up in your hands and just, you know, yeet them over the fence. That's how it should be. Please note, Triclaw Gaming does not condone the throwing of sentient animals. Right, Killian Mountains and Rana. I think considering they've got quite a large enclosure, we'll go with 3 male. And then for the females, we'll go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 8 animals in total, which I think is acceptable. They're relatively small animals, and this is a relatively large enclosure. Obstructed by what? Seriously, come on. Obstructed by what? What is there to obstruct you here? This is what drives me nuts about this helicopter system. The hitbox for the positioning is just outrageous. There's no reason why I shouldn't be able to put one down there. It's just saying no because... it just wants to be mean. Yeah, the Sino-Tyrannus mod, I don't think I'm going to keep that one. I think that's going to be one of them I get rid of. Which is something I do, like, every so often. I'll have a look at the new species I've actually added to the game and be like, do I use it? Or do I think it's worth keeping? And if not, I get rid of them. The Sino-Tyrannus mod, like... It's all right, but I don't think it's like perfect. I think there are better new species mods, so I think I might be getting rid of that one. Oh. Oh, I've realized there's a... Oh. I forgot about the glass windows. They don't have hitboxes, do they? The Sinosauropteryx have gone on a walkabout. No, what? Since we're moving them anyway, I'll just put it in there. Let's quickly. That was stupid of me. Right, invisible wall. There we go. Now then, wait, you come here, back in your enclosure. Same for you. Same for you. And for you. They all got out. I completely forgot about that. It's so stupid that we're using a helicopter to transport an animal this small. It just doesn't make sense to me. I feel like they need to expand on the staff system in the next game so that we can have, like, zookeeper staff that just drop small animals like this into enclosures. I think this enclosure is a bit big for a crowd of Sinosauropteryx, but... And, you know, these glass walls might be a bit much, but... Maybe these Sinosauropteryx have, like, a reputation for biting. Maybe that's why. Right, let's go. Let's go get the Proceratos. There they are. Yeah, Luna, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that. Death Valley. And Porgrana. Wow. See, that really represents an animal that's grey and orange. Frontier. You've really got to pull your finger out with the next game. Honestly. I feel like people have really low expectations for the next game, and I think that's really a really dangerous thing to do. So I'm just going to dump them here. So I'm like, I feel like we need to have higher expectations because we want them to be like, we're actually going to do a better job with this. A little bit messy on the fence line there, but there was no way of making it better, I don't think. Yeah, see, that's just... Let's try and get that looking a little nicer. That's a bit better, isn't it? No, none of them even dropped in yet. Hello, DHI. I have higher hopes, but definitely not highest expectations. I think that's probably a really good way of putting it. Like, I have high hopes, but not necessarily high expectations. Some people say you shouldn't have high expectations so you can't be disappointed. I mean, I think that's certainly a winning strategy for when you're dealing with any video game company. But I feel like that sort of thinking breeds a situation where you let video game companies get away with all sorts. Would you be okay with a reduced animal roster if all of them were more unique? Certainly. I think I could probably list off about 20 animals that I think should be removed. Just because they're not unique enough. Or, actually, the better solution would be keep the roster as it is, but actually make all of the animals feel worthwhile having. There's our Proceratos. Their nice little willow enclosure. Oh, now what's wrong? Why? What's wrong? Water? You've got water. Dehydrated. Are they not drinking the water? Why aren't they drinking the water? It's right there. Dudes, the water's right there. Why aren't they drinking it? Is there too much... Is it because there's too much stuff around the water? Apparently not. Dude, there's water's right... There's water right there. Why are you just not... Is it because this is not a big enough patch of water according to the Lystrosaurus? Is that the problem? It's right there! What's wrong with this? What's wrong with them? Why aren't they drinking from the water? They're fine with that patch. This one's starving, even though the water's There's literally food right literally there. What's wrong with this patch of water? I don't get it. Okay, I think we might have to do some enclosure redesign. Because it seems like they're refusing to use this enormous patch of water that's right there. Right, how much water do you want? There you go. Are you going to drink now? Did you drink? No. Why are you drinking? Seriously, what's their fucking problem? How much more water do they want in this enclosure? Like they've got tons of the stuff. Oops. They've all just bloody died. What the f... Is there a revive tool? I don't think there is a revive tool. You can delete them. The respawning doesn't work on dead dinosaurs. Next to die. No. Oh, reset. No, reset behavior doesn't work on a dead dinosaur. Once they're dead, you can't reset them. What was their problem? I don't understand. They've got tons of water. Wait a second here. What's this in for? I'm just gonna spawn some random ones again. Where the bloody hell are they? These guys. What? Low health? Huh? What? Oh, no. Hang on a minute. What's your problem now? Food? It's right there. There's food right there. Why is it just... There's food right there. Devil? It's like it's gone nuts. What's wrong with this bloody thing? None of them are eating. Okay, hold on. Something is definitely wrong with the animal here. Let's give them health to begin with. And then let's just reset behavior to effect park. Just every animal. Just reset all their behaviors. Are you going to go and eat now? That was strange. So you're hungry. Why aren't you going to go and get the food? So now you are going to go and get the food. Okay. Well, these guys, I think that can be easily solved by giving them another feeder on this side of the enclosure. It's a bit peculiar, though. This is what's wrong? There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to get there that easily. There is nothing interfering with that at all. See? There's no hitboxes in the way or anything. How odd. Which JW1 features should return? Which things should be dropped in entirely? I definitely think that the storm defense structures need to come back. The storm defense upgrade is such a pointless upgrade. Like, the storm defense structures were so much more useful. Like, we really should have both. That's how I think it should be done. We should have both. I'm just going to keep an eye on these guys for a minute. Just because I want to make sure they're actually eating and drinking. Okay. These guys are fine. They are eating, they are drinking. So I wonder what was the problem with this. I am going to do a quick experiment. I'm going to get rid of all of the foliage that we placed down. Now, as far as I'm concerned, this patch of water is big enough, easily big enough for Lystrosaurus to drink from. Okay? There is no reason why they should not be able to drink from that. I'm going to give them a feeder so they can eat. And I'm just going to use the dino spawner, and I'm just going to chuck a couple of Lystro. We'll chuck 4 Lystro in here, and I just want to see what they do. I wonder if the problem was because we moved them from that enclosure and put them in here. I'm actually curious to see if they are going to drink. Where are they going to drink from? Because surely that's big enough for them, right? I mean, they're tiny little pig things. They don't need a huge amount of food. Bring back the ugly cult circle social. I certainly think we need more social animations. I don't necessarily think the ugly the ugly one is the best one to bring back. I think the old maps should definitely come back from the first game. Okay, so they still haven't drunk yet. Okay, they're perfectly happy eating from the small food trough. That's fine. You're getting close to needing to drink now. Surely. Is that patch of water just too small? And if that's the case, why are you not able to drink from that? 'Cause I'm pretty sure every other bloody animal would. Let's actually do an experiment, shall we? Let's chuck in a couple of Draco Rex and see if they drink from it. Sorry, I know this is not quite what we expected to be doing stuff on today, but I need to get to the bottom of why these guys are not drinking. Is it just this patch of water is bugged? Is that the problem? Oh no. You're not drinking, you're just standing there waiting for a social. The old campaign was better, I do agree with that. See, they keep walking around it, so they know that the water is there. They're just refusing to drink from the damn stuff. And again, these guys don't seem to be drinking from it either. I feel like this patch of water is bugged somehow. I know, there you go. So you can bloody drink from it. So why aren't you guys drinking from it? Okay, you are now officially thirsty. You've got water there, but you're not drinking from it. Okay. Let's just do a quick experiment. Like, this is an enormous enclosure, right? Let's just pick another, like... That's a huge patch of water right there. Are you drinking? No, you're not drinking. Okay, let's put you over here. 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 You should all require water. So surely, you should just go and use that water. Look at them. They are refusing stubbornly to drink any of this stuff. Walked into it. You're kidding me? That's the only place you'll drink? Is that they will only drink from that little side? Is that the case? If that's true, that is ridiculous. Look how much water you have to put down for one listro. And they'll only drink from that side. Oh no, now they are drinking from that side. So they require, for them to drink, they need exactly that amount of, like, water. More than that amount of water. Oh, that's silly. That's so silly. Okay. See, this is what I mean about Frontier, like, coming up with perfectly... Because look, these guys, they're happy enough with this amount of water. And the Draco Rex are happy enough with this amount of water. But the tiny little Lystrosaurus, that shouldn't need a huge amount of stuff, they need a huge amount of stuff. It's just a bad implementation of ideas, which really frustrates me. Okay, what can we do with this? Let's... Okay. Let's do a little bit of reworking here. Let's actually get rid of this water. Put down the new water. There we go. That should be plenty of water for them. No reason why they shouldn't be alright with that. That's just going to cut it. Okay. It's these little things are what, like, makes the game frustrating to play. Like, needing a huge amount of water for a tiny animal no bigger than a pig. Why? Because Frontier have probably, I suspect, used a rig or something, animation rig wise, that's so much bigger than the Listro, and it just doesn't work properly. It cut a little bit off, but surely that's enough. Ah, I had this perfect, and now it's not. Aggravating. Okay. Sorry, I'm not looking at chat. I was just want to get this bloody enclosure rebuilt. See, I had hopes today that we would get all of these enclosures done. But I suspect that's not going to happen now. Right. Back in the feeders. I didn't want the feeders on that side, I wanted them on that side. Right. We're going to spawn some Listro in here. Make sure they can definitely drink. Find where they drink. So I make sure I don't accidentally block it with anything. I think I should be able to stimulate the behavior with this, right? I just make them all thirsty. Yeah, that didn't work, apparently. I say, make you all thirsty. Is it drinking? Is it actually drinking? Couldn't tell because I couldn't click on the damn thing. Yeah, like we should get something about JW3 soon, shouldn't we? Please just drink something. Honestly, these flipping things have been more trouble than they're worth, honestly. One of you just have a drink, please. I just need to see where you guys are drinking from. So I don't accidentally block it with anything. Well, I think that's what we're assuming, Navi, that that it's going to be announced at the Summer Games Fest, but this is Frontier. Frontier can never be guaranteed to do anything. Like, we all thought that they were going to release the game in time for the film, because that's what they complained about with Jurassic World Evolution 2. And now it seems that they're not. So, if I've learned anything about Frontier, it's that they would do exactly the opposite of what you suspect they would do. Come on, guys. Will one of you take a drink, please? See, I'm glad that they're adding animals of different sizes, but I feel that this is one of the problems of the game. That in terms of scale, in terms of water, in terms of the food, in terms of the fence, it doesn't fit animals of this size. We need specifically sized enclosures for animals like this. Whether it's a looped terrarium animation like Prehistoric Kingdom has, or whether it's, I don't know, feeding bowls and water bowls that animals can deliberately drink from, like Planet. Ah, okay, we have one animal that drank. They had a drink. They can definitely drink from the water. What color did I even have these rocks? Were they black as well? I can't remember. Okay, we are going to leave. Okay, they're drinking from there too. Okay, so we're going to leave. We know they can drink from there, so we're going to leave some space here. It's so stupid, isn't it? Look how much water these things have got. Oh. They have an absolute shit ton of water. They refuse to drink from anywhere near any of it. I can only imagine it's something to do with the like refusing to allow them to walk underwater. I feel like ever since they did that, these small animals have been nothing but trouble. You know, it is frustrating. Because they've been such trouble, I'm not even sure I want them in the park anymore. Because this is a huge amount of water for a tiny animal. And the only reason I put them in this enclosure was because I thought, well, they'll be fine in an enclosure of this size. And now I'm like, this enclosure is easily big enough for a bigger creature. Minmai would probably fit in here fine. And yet, look, they will only drink. They are only going to drink from that one gap there. They won't drink from here, or over here, or over here. Just here. Oh shit, we're up to 11 o'clock. Blimey, I didn't notice the time. Damn. These Lystrosaurus distracted me. This one, I'm assuming is literally going to go to here and drink. Yep, okay. Yeah, I think that the Lystrosaurus are going to magically disappear. And I think a different creature is going to inhabit this enclosure. One that kicks up less of a... You know what? I wonder if I might try swapping these two enclosures around. Put the Corythoraptors in here and put the Lystro in here and see if they drink from this. Hopefully that'll work. Anyway, thank you everyone for tuning in today. I'm going to end the stream there. Oh, hello, Evo. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely, Evo. Definitely. The Lystrosaurus are just a pain in the ass. Persistently. Anyway, I'm going to leave the stream there. Thank you everyone for tuning in today. Don't forget to like the stream if you haven't already. Do subscribe if you haven't already. I will see you guys next Wednesday, I think is the next time you'll see us. There will be... I was about to say there will be no video, but there's going to be a Walking with Dinosaurs one. So, yeah, that's kind of shot me down. So, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Wherever you are, enjoy the rest of your Sundays. Stay safe, and good night.